Do you experience discomfort in your shoulder when reaching across your body or behind your back? In this video training, you're gonna learn why this is happening and what you can do to fix it. What's up, guys? My name is Dr. Nick Bonforte, physical therapist. So reaching across the body and behind the back, that requires the posterior capsule or the back of the shoulder to be on stretch. Many times, given things that we do in our daily life, a lot of times we lack what's called shoulder internal rotation. These limitations can be brought on for a variety of reasons. You could be just inherently not flexible, or you can have a past history of shoulder issues and your body has that as like a defense mechanism, so you're not be able to move in certain directions, a whole host of things. But the idea is the back of the shoulder or the posterior aspect of the shoulder is tight or restricted, and we have to improve that to basically improve going across the body and reaching behind the back. So common presentations in real life kind of look like this, where you can see with this person, with one arm, he's able to reach across the body pretty well, and then the other arm, that's the restricted arm, it was really drastically limited. And here's another example of reaching behind the back. You can see the arm is not up the back as far as it can go. That would be a limitation in the shoulder internal rotation, giving you some insight that the posterior capsule is limited. So in this video, we're gonna focus on the flexibility and mobility aspect to help improve the ability to reach across the body and behind the back. Let's dive into some of the exercises to start addressing this issue. So with this exercise, we're working on the flexibility of the back of the shoulder. With this one, I'm on my side and I'm going into what's called a sleeper stretch. Now, the good thing with this one is I'm rolling onto my shoulder, and what that does is help stabilize and kind of lock down the shoulder blade onto the ground. So the shoulder blade is locked between the ground and my body weight, and then I'm using my arm and I'm going down into internal rotation. What that is doing is help bias stretching the back of the shoulder, the area that we have to improve. Now with this one, it could be a pretty intense stretch. So for an example, if I'm really rolled onto my arm and I'm going into internal rotation and I can't take that stretch, I can always roll off of it and it'll loosen up a little bit. But the idea is we're getting at that targeted region to the back of the shoulder to ultimately improve the length of this tissue we're trying to address. And also we have to keep in mind that when we reach across our body, the arm is moving, and if there's not flexibility there, the shoulder blade will just come along for the ride. So by doing this exercise, we're help biasing and create that relative motion that we need between the arm bone and the shoulder blade. When we're on our side, we lock down that shoulder blade, and then the arm bone can move away from it, helping it in real life function as the arm goes across the body. This next one is putting eccentric load through this particular region of the body. So again, we're moving into internal rotation of the arm, and the idea is as we move into that motion under load, we're help biasing the extensibility that we need to get at that particular region to ultimately improve the flexibility of that targeted region. So with this one, I'm just controlling the weight down nice and slowly as I'm trying to bias the eccentric lengthening part to this particular exercise. Now with this one, we're working on an activation drill to help improve the active capability of the shoulder to move into internal rotation. So with this one, my hand's behind my back and I'm lifting off my back as far as it can go to teach the body that it can control itself into this range of motion and help bias that shoulder internal rotation motion. When we improve the activation and teach the body that I can control this range of motion, it ultimately will improve the ability to move into internal rotation, telling the body it can have sufficient length and control to the back of the shoulder. So there you go. Those are a couple exercises to help biasing that posterior aspect of the shoulder to improve its flexibility and length. With these exercises, you can see that we're biasing the ability for the shoulder to move into shoulder internal rotation, because ultimately when the shoulder goes into that motion, it lengthens that particular region we need to address. So when we address that particular region, it will ultimately improve its ability to go across the body as well, because we're targeting the same type of tissue in these exercises. So hopefully you gained some insight and learned some things throughout this video. Guys, if you found some value in this and you learned some things throughout this video, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe, like, comment, leave any questions below, and also don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video when I release it. Also, if you want to learn a little bit more about the programs I have for this particular region at the shoulder and then other regions of the body, and see how I use my background in physical therapy and strength and conditioning and I combine that into one approach addressing these regions, then click the link in this video or down below in the description, head right over to the website, check out the programs and see how they'd be beneficial for you. This is Dr. Nick. I'll see you next time.